Hello everyone, welcome to our Let's Play series of Mass Effect. This is Colonel RPG as usual, and I'm very happy that you're chose to join me today as we travel around the... Look at all the places we've been to. As we travel around the... what is the name of this place, actually? The Presidium. We were just talking about the Presidium before, with Mr. Banker over there, in learning about all the things and the power dynamics of this place. And what the council is and whatnot. Ashley was wondering about how many people have drowned in there and all that. Maybe you wouldn't drown in there. I wonder if they could make that water out of oxygen or something. Ashley?
You know, art doesn't normally do much for me, but that relay statue, I like.
Good stuff. I wonder why art doesn't do much for her. Probably because she's looking at the wrong art. That's usually how it goes, really. Just, you know. Yeah, that's a mass relay. You cheeky. Oh, you cheeky. You cheeky? That's not even a sentence. So the game has to have the mass relay constantly loaded because this is the loading screen. So whenever you need a loading screen, which I believe happens if you load a game or something, you need this loaded on the beat without having to search the data for this. So this is always loaded probably throughout the whole game. What that means is that they can just put one of these things for free. I was talking about memory limits before about dresses and textures and whatnot. But for a moment I thought she was pregnant, which is an interesting thing as well, because you never see pregnant people in...
Look at that bug thing over there. What's it doing?
Please do not disturb the keepers.
Did you hear Avina? Did you hear... Ashley, did you hear Avina? Don't disturb them. Also, they're really super scary. Yeah, you never see pregnant people in video games. Or media in general, actually.
Please do not disturb the keepers.
Interesting, I talked to the keeper. I examined the keeper, actually. And Avina apparently shouts out about how I shouldn't disturb the keepers. And also get stuck on the little things. I don't like it. Where is this? Oh no, this is to the tower. I don't want to. We have many places to see. We don't have that many places to see. We do have some places to see before we go anywhere. To our main destinations and whatnot. Oh, they don't talk. I thought I was gonna get to hear them complain about something or talk about how they liked the dinner yesterday or something. I don't know. Whatever people talk about in a place like this. Another thing that you never see is people playing on their Nintendo Switches or something. I don't know. There's no outdoor entertainment. People are just hanging around, which makes sense. Actually, in this case, it doesn't make much sense because you can't talk to the vast majority of the people. But in a normal, well, I say normal, but in an RPG where you can talk to everybody, it makes some sense that they would be otherwise unengaged with things. Otherwise, just sort of, you know, I'm getting that last little bit of something. I don't know what you do in video games. I don't know. Animal Crossing thingy. Say things that people know. I don't know. Anyway, let's go to... I do think that we need to go that way. But we have been everywhere. Embassy Lounge. We have a couple of things over here that we definitely want to mess with. I actually missed... Yes, I missed that bit over there. Because you want to touch it. The rapid transit thing. So that it activates. Look at all the options. Can you be faster about that? Thank you. I can press space and be faster. What do we have? The wards. We don't need to go to the wards, do we? Hiccup. I don't think we can go to the wards. That's a red elevator. Or not a red button for the elevator. You must talk to the council to gain access to the wards. So this is a big, not only a big level, but it's a big complex of levels. I like that. I like that. I don't remember it being this big though. That's what she's it's just like I mostly remember the embassies, and I actually don't know what we're about to see. So excuse me, basically. For a little bit of blind playthrough. A lot of this is going to be partially blind anyway. up we go. In one of the first instances of loading screen elevators. Which, in this case, is not actually a loading...
The council isn't gonna ask me any questions, are they?
I doubt it. We've made our reports. Now we just have to trust Ambassador Udina.
No, we don't, sir.
Ashley is my kind of girl. Yeah, this is one of the first instances of loading screens in elevator rides. But in this game, in this Let's Play anyway, there's no loading. None of it is loading, because it's on an SSD, super fast, CPU, everything is super fast. I'm also stuck over here.
I bet all these staircases aren't just for show. They make for good defensive positions if this place is ever attacked.
But she was gonna say it's good for loading times. But she didn't. This looks really cool. Oh, it's Garrus. That's the one that accompanies I think is the one that accompanies us. What's the other one? Executor Palin.
Saren's hiding something. Give me more time. Stall them.
Stall the council? Don't be ridiculous. Your investigation is over, Garrus.
Commander Shepard, Garrus Vicarian. I was the officer in charge of the CSEC investigation into Saren.
Sounds like you came up empty.
Saren's a Spectre. Most of his activities are classified. I couldn't find anything solid. But I know he's up to something. Like you humans say, I feel it in my gut.
I think the council's ready for us, Commander.
Good luck, Shepard. Maybe they'll listen to you.
Or maybe they won't. It's not really up to me to decide, is it? It's up to them to see if they're gonna believe me. It's sort of a hopeless situation here. Everybody keeps... Well, everybody really keeps reaffirming the fact that they don't want to pursue Saren. This guy says that it seems like they're not gonna be delayed, and no information on Saren. And mostly of what we know of Saren anyway is from third-person cutscenes that we really shouldn't have access to, because that's not how the information works. I saw it in a vision. What do you mean a vision? I mean the game cut away to a scene that I wasn't seeing. That's the vision that I saw. Shut up! Don't ask questions. But in this game, I think there is something that we learned of Saren. We must have seen, our character must have seen Saren, right? I mean, it would make sense. It has to make sense.
No, I'm waiting to speak with one of the Councilor's assistants. Commander?
Mm-hmm. Oh, I remember this place. There's also a transit relay. Either I remember this place or I remember a very similar place from Deus Ex Human Revolution. Don't ask questions. It's complicated. Is this the fifth one? It is not. Oh, we have wards access from here. Yeah, good. Let's stick to the left wall over here. Yeah, I think it's Human Revolution has a place that is similar to this one. That's our... Or maybe it isn't. No, it doesn't. It's this one. It's Memory. Memory's coming back.
The hearing's already started. Come on.
I was just looking for interesting things. Don't
The
shout
Geth
at me.
attack is a matter of some concern, but there is nothing to indicate Saren was involved in any way.
The investigation by Citadel Security turned up no evidence to support your charge of treason.
An eyewitness saw him kill Nihilus in cold blood.
We've read the Eden Prime reports, Ambassador. The testimony of one traumatized dock worker is hardly compelling proof.
I resent these accusations. Nihilus was a fellow Spectre and a friend.
That just let you catch him off guard.
Captain Anderson, you always seem to be involved when humanity makes false charges against me. And this must be your protege, Commander Shepard, the one who let the beacon get destroyed.
So indeed it does make sense. We didn't see him. It's somebody else's testimony.
You're the one who destroyed the beacon, then you tried to cover it up.
Shift the blame to cover your own failures. Just like Captain Anderson. He's taught you well. But what can you expect from a human?
You can expect me to kill you the next time we meet.
Your species needs to learn its place, Shepard. You're not ready to join the Council. You're not even ready to join the Spectres.
He has no right to say that. That's not his decision.
Shepard's admission into the Spectres is not the purpose of this meeting.
This meeting has no purpose. The humans are wasting your time, Counselor, and mine.
You can't hide behind the Council forever.
There is still one outstanding issue. Commander Shepard's vision. It may have been triggered by the beacon.
Are we allowing dreams into evidence now? How can I defend my innocence against this kind of testimony?
I agree. Our judgment must be based on facts and evidence, not wild imaginings and reckless speculation.
Do you have anything else to add, Commander Shepard?
You've made your decision. I won't waste my breath.
The Council has found no evidence of any connection between Saren and the Geth. Ambassador, your petition to have him disbarred from the Spectres is denied.
I'm glad to see justice was served.
This meeting is adjourned.
I mean, admittedly, it's not. This is an interesting conundrum.
It was a mistake bringing you into that hearing, Captain.
Yes.
You and Saren have too much history. It made the Council question our motives.
I know Saren. He's working with the Geth for one reason. To exterminate the entire human race. Every colony we have is at risk. Every world we control is in danger. Even Earth isn't safe.
I said yes, but immediately... That's really good, actually. It's really good writing. So, on the face of it, it was a mistake to even press the matter. They should not have tried to get him disbarred. And disbarred, I think... Does that work for what we're saying here? I thought disbarred was only for attorneys. And in fact, even for only American attorneys. But anyway, that doesn't matter. Maybe I'm wrong. The point is, they were wrong to try to get him disbarred because it was such... like, they would know if the Council was going to say yes or no. And in fact, they would know even more so because the Council is the freaking biggest government and biggest judiciary. It's not judiciary. Is that the judiciary? Yeah, it is the judiciary power in the whole in the galaxy. So they would know even more. Like when you go to a lower court, sometimes you can push things that you're not 100% certain on because there's a lot of factors going in on a trial like this or whatever this was, a hearing. But for in real life, I mean, but for higher courts, it becomes in advance. You're never gonna do something that is foolish. You just because you know that they're not gonna let it go through. But so this was, I think, hopeless from the start. But more importantly, the ambassador should have known. Obviously, the ambassador was the one at the head. But it's interesting that the ambassador was the one to say it was a mistake. Yes, it was. But then he says, sending you there, when the problem wasn't with the captain, or it wasn't with me either. It really was a hopeless situation. But the reason, the fact that it was a hopeless situation doesn't necessarily paint the Council as sort of corrupt or shady or ignorant or blind or any other. It doesn't really paint them in the bad light. It paints the ambassador in a bad light. Although, and I say this, I also don't think the game is trying to paint the Council in a bad light. Still, let's say this.
We need to deal with Saren ourselves.
As a Spectre, he's virtually untouchable. We need to find some way to expose him.
What about Garrus, that CSEC investigator? We saw him arguing with the Executor.
That's right. He was asking for more time to finish his report. Seems like he was close to finding something on Saren.
Any idea where we could find him?
I have a contact in CSEC who can help us track Garrus down. His name is Harkin.
Forget it. They suspended Harkin last month, drinking on the job. I won't waste my time with that loser.
You won't have to. I don't want the Council using your past history with Saren as an excuse to ignore anything we turn up. Shepard will handle this.
You can't just cut Captain Anderson out of this investigation.
The ambassador's right. I need to step aside.
I need to take care of some business. Captain, meet me in my office later.
Harkin's probably getting drunk at Cora's Den. It's a dingy little club in the lower section of the wards.
Maybe there's another way to find evidence against Saren.
You should talk to Barla Vaughn over in the financial district. Rumor has it he's an agent for the Shadow Broker.
The Shadow Broker?
An information dealer. Buys and sells secrets to the highest bidder. I've heard Barlavan's one of the top representatives. He might know something about Saren, but his information won't come cheap.
I like how it's Shadow Broker, but it's capital S and capital B. Hello, Mr. Broker. I'm here. new to town.
You and Saren have a history. What happened?
About 20 years ago, I was part of a mission in the Skillian Verge. I was working with Saren to find and remove a known terrorist threat. Saren eliminated his target, but a lot of people died along the way. Innocent people. And the official records just covered it all up. But I saw how he operates. No conscience. No hesitation. He'd kill 1,000 innocent civilians to end a war without a second thought.
Sometimes 1,000 people must die so 1,000,000 can live.
But only if there's no other way. Saren doesn't even look for another option. He's twisted, broken. He likes the violence, the killing. And he knows how to cover his tracks.
I'm gonna say that again. No. Sometimes 1,000 people have to die. So we can ask about all the things, including Barlavan. Let's go with that.
Tell me about Barlavan.
He specializes in moving large sums of money without leaving a paper trail. A financial genius, doesn't do anything illegal, but he knows all the loopholes. He's got an impressive client list. Ambassadors, diplomats, specters. That's probably why the Shadow Broker uses him.
It's really interesting as well that he says it doesn't do anything illegal, because apparently in this setting, like in the minds of many people, something being illegal is, or rather, something being legal is the equivalent of something being moral. Which it isn't, obviously, but he's not doing anything illegal, but he's just like, oh yeah, you know, it's not what he's saying, but it's sort of what it's implicit there.
You and Saren have a history.
Oh yeah,
About 20.
I know.
But I saw how he operates.
Sometimes
I said that again.
If there's no other way. Saren doesn't even look for another
Tell
option.
me more about the Shadow Broker.
He's a necessary evil of galactic politics. Buying and selling information is a part of the game. And the Shadow Broker just happens to be the best player on the field. Always sells to the highest bidder. Doesn't get involved in politics. Doesn't pick sides. A simple system, but it works. He's not a threat to anyone, not directly. He's just a resource we can use, or she is. Or maybe they are. Nobody really knows.
Man, the implicit biases here are all over the place. Not all over the place. They're always from the same side. He says he doesn't pick sides. I'm not gonna deconstruct he doesn't play politics or whatever, because it doesn't matter, even though it's incorrect as well. But he doesn't pick sides. You just said that he sells to the highest bidder. He picks the side of the highest bidder. Also, the first thing is he's a necessary evil. Why is he evil? You probably should talk about that, because I don't know why he was evil. And also, why is he necessary? It's like, I honestly, like, taking it seriously, I don't know what he means, but also looking at it from just a simple, not thinking too hard perspective, I also don't know what the Shadow Broker is. And I don't know that I don't know what he does. He just sells information? What? Like anybody can do? What is that, like... Is he just like a hacker? Because he sells information, right? He's not an actual broker. He doesn't get information. Or trade one secret for another, which you sometimes see in fantasy games for this sort of character. It's just sort of somebody who you can ask things, and then, oh, you must tell me a secret. At the same time, you know, I know there's at least one RPG that I played that has somebody like that. I don't remember which one it is, but he just sells information. That's a weird character right there. But it's specifically weird that he says that he doesn't pick sides, or yeah, he does. The rich, or I guess the richer countries or the richer planets.
Our ambassador doesn't seem to get along with the council.
He's just frustrated. The Council's always preaching that we need to be part of the galactic community. But for them, it's a one-way street. They want us to expand and settle unstable regions like the Skillian Verge and the Attican Traverse. But when we run into trouble, they don't want to help us out. Everyone knows it's only a matter of time until we get a seat on the council. The ambassador just thinks it should happen sooner rather than later. And I agree.
Who cares if we get a seat on the council? What's the big deal?
If the council passes a ruling on an interstellar matter, we have to follow it. We don't have the fleets or political allies to defy them. Once we get a seat on the council, we'll be able to influence those rulings, protect our own interests. No more jumping through hoops whenever we want something. Take this mess we're in now. If humanity had a seat on the council, we'd just send the Citadel fleet out to take care of Saren and his Geth. Problem solved.
Yeah, I asked that mostly because of the whole renegade thing. Not really. It's a pretty obvious. It's a pretty obvious thing that it's. We're too independent is an interesting line. Let's go with that.
Maybe they'd let us join the council if we were more willing to cooperate with the other species.
Of course they would. If we did everything they told us to, they'd love to have us on the council. But it wouldn't be much of a deal for us.
Would they?
I understand their side. They don't want us dominating the council. It's founded on cooperation and alliances. But we have to look out for our own interests too.
Would they? Like, we know the bank people don't have a seat in the council, and they have been at it for millennia now. It is possible that they do everything the council wants, but you need to look at it from a political perspective, and by political I mean maybe political is from a negotiating perspective. If we did everything they wanted us to do, why would they put us in the council in the first place? They don't have anything to gain by putting us in the council. But if we hold something hostage and you're like, I'm not gonna do that until we put the human in the council or something like that. If you do that, then maybe you have a bargaining chip, and maybe if it isn't stated outright, because stating it outright is a little bit rude. If you're like, I'm not gonna do that thing, and unless you put us in the council, it's a little bit rude and friendly. You might just sort of imply that, and that is a thing. That is a real political strategy that happens a lot throughout history in real life.
You don't think much of Harkin.
The guy joined CSEC about 20 years ago. He's been an embarrassment to our species ever since. Roughing up suspects in custody, bribery accusations, alcohol and drug use. The embassy used to step in when he got in trouble. But I guess enough was enough.
Guy's a scumbag. He should have been cut loose a long time ago.
He was one of the first human CSEC officers. Guess it would have looked bad if he got fired. A lot of backroom deals were worked out over the years to keep him on the force. Politics is a dirty business sometimes, but it looks like his time's run out. We've got enough humans in CSEC now to stop protecting him.
That's not politics. That's policing. It's being a cop is a dirty business. Oh, sometimes, he said sometimes. Sure. Yeah.
I thought this embassy was supposed to help humans.
So that's...
Harkin may be human, but he's also an ass. He's had more than his share of chances. If the embassy wasn't protecting him, he would have been fired 15 years ago. CSEC is better off without him.
It's a pretty it's interesting that it's a diametrically opposite answer to say this, and not diametrically as in literally, but because otherwise it'd be over there. But rather, those are opposite things that you can say. You can say not only can you say them over and over again, but you can say them both. And he says sort of opposing lines, which is interesting.
I want to know more about the Spectres.
They're not your typical government agency. They tend to work alone, behind the scenes. They take care of problems the Council can't. It's not easy preserving peace across an entire galaxy. The Council prefers to use diplomacy and negotiation. But sometimes more extreme measures are needed.
How do they decide who becomes a Spectre?
You can't just apply to join. There's no training program. Spectres aren't made. They're born. The Council's always looking for exceptional individuals. People who can get the job done, like you. They've been watching you for years. They see something in you. They want you on their side. Nihilus was supposed to give them a final recommendation, but with him gone, things are still up in the air.
If you're gonna say that there's no application form, that Spectres aren't made, they're born, you're necessarily talking about people who are, from birth, made to be Spectres. So they are indeed made, but whatever. They're born to be specters, which is not the case for us. They have their eye on us for sure, but there's definitely an application process. Otherwise, I would have my specterness guaranteed by now.
They sound like shadow operatives.
Everything about them is classified. We don't even know how many there are. The latest Alliance estimate puts their numbers under 100. But the Council couldn't do its job without them. They're the Citadel's top agents, the last line of defense, the final option before open war. The entire galaxy respects and fears them. If a Spectre shows up, you know something big is about to happen.
One of the first things in the game was that. The Spectre showing up is something big. That's pretty important.
What's their command structure like?
There is no command structure. Each Spectre answers directly to the Council. Sometimes they're sent on specific missions. Other times, they act on their own. They tend to operate outside the law, do whatever it takes to accomplish their goals. The Council just turns a blind eye. Spectres have a lot of power, Shepard.
They don't turn a blind eye. That's the turn a blind eye. What do you mean turn a blind eye? They answer to them. It's what? That's such a weird... There's conflicting messages regarding the Spectres. The Council knows that the Spectres use, let's say, strategies that other people cannot use while remaining inside of the law. But that doesn't mean the Spectres are outside of the law, because, like, police officers use strategies that other people can't use while remaining inside of the law, but police officers use those strategies while remaining inside of the law. And why is that? Because the law applies differently depending on who you are. And here, the law applies differently depending on whether you're a Spectre or not. And the law, in this case, it's pretty loose, because it's just they're like the super big assassin dudes for the Council. But they don't turn a blind eye. They know full well what's going on. It's the opposite of blind. It's a very knowing eye. The Council knows. Although, in this case, the Council might not know specifically about Saren, in the sense that, they don't turn a blind eye if the Spectre hasn't gone rogue, I suppose.
What happens when a Spectre goes rogue, like Saren?
It doesn't happen often. The Council is careful when they select their candidates. But when something does go wrong, there's usually only one solution. Send another Spectre to bring the rogue agent down.
Yep, makes sense. It's what we heard before as well, although we heard conflicting reports on that, and I knew who to believe then, and not because I played this game before.
I should go.
Good luck, Shepard. I'll be over in the ambassador's office if you need anything else.
That was a hiccup on my part, I'm sorry. Anyway, we're out of time for the day, so we are gonna need to find Hacker... What was his name? Hanker? I don't know. Also, we're gonna need to talk to Vol, or Bora. Bora Vol? Is that it? Either way, I'm Colonel RPG, and this has been Mass Effect. I really hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, go ahead and leave a comment, like the video if you want to see the next episode come out sooner rather than later. But above all, thank you so much for watching, and I hope I'll see you next episode. Bye-bye.
This is it. The very heart of the Citadel. The pinnacle of galactic power. Kinda makes your head spin if you think about it too much.